Hello, YouTube. Hello. 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 My queen. Hello. How we doing? TikTok, and then we are set. And then we are set. One moment on TikTok. Adjusting my shirt still. All right. Mirror. All right. And TikTok is set too. Excellent. Ooh, a nice fall night with my beautiful lighting. I do. I like the show. I like the show better in the fall because I like my mood lighting. And also the mood lighting makes me happy. It's lighting I set up mostly for myself, although the red I finally got for you guys, but I like it now. I like it anyway, so I do the red anyway for the background. Or I should say I did the red for you guys, but then I realized I liked it so much that I leave it on at night now when I'm watching TV. It makes me happy. Anyway, but yes, so Sasha is sleeping on the couch. Plants are doing their thing. All my Christmas cactuses are actually are getting buds. Like they're all getting buds now. I'm very excited. Had them outside for 6 to 8 weeks. All doing well now. The volume is the same as it always is. It just, sometimes it's evil. Actually, there, I'll make sure that's where it normally is. The volume is now exactly where it is always. So I don't know. Sometimes it just goes bad on TikTok and YouTube, and nothing I can do about it. Anyway, welcome everybody. John Aravosis here, Washington D.C. It's very quiet. It's where it should be. This is a TikTok thing. Actually, YouTube's the one that usually does it. Yeah. How is it now on YouTube and Discord? How is the volume tonight? Is it normal or is it quiet? Yeah, see on YouTube, it's normal. This is something weird that happens with the different services, and it's not clear why. Yeah, Discord and YouTube are normal. TikTok is low. Nothing I can do about it. Anyway, for a lot of people, it's okay. Yeah, nothing I can do because if I put it up higher on TikTok, then it's going to blow out the YouTube people. So maybe leaving and coming back. I don't know. Not that I want you to leave. Anyway, so I'm having a little more iced tea because I took a muscle relaxant for my back that I know lingers. I took it last night and I've been tired all day, but my back is still bothering me. So I feel like the muscle relaxant might help a little, but it totally knocks me out all day, which I hate this thing. So even right now, I'm kind of like, huh. And I haven't taken the pill since last night. And it's a 3 times a day pill too, which is what's crazy about it. It shouldn't linger, but it lingers. So what do you do? Anyway, yeah, no, I'm not. Well, we're not going to discuss what the details are because TikTok probably wouldn't like that. Everything, our overlords, protectors, don't like these discussions. So anyway, welcome everybody. John Aravosis here. We're going to talk about the latest news in America and the world. Donald Trump, our favorite. There's some Ukraine news too involving Donald Trump. It's not good. It's not good. What a surprise. He's tacoing again. But in any case, thank you for joining us, guys. Please do keep the gifts coming. Subscriptions too, if the spirit moves you. I do this for a living, so I'm always very, very thankful at any help you guys give. So thank you for that. Subscriptions are cool because you get extra little emojis. You get a little tag next to your name, so I and others know you are a supporter. And you get to join, whether it's TikTok or Discord. You get to join our YouTube as well. You get to join our Saturday morning show that I do almost every Saturday morning for the paid monthly subscribers. So that's 11 a.m. Eastern time Saturday morning. So people are still not liking the sound on TikTok. Something happened with TikTok. Well, you know what? Let me try this though. I'm going to unplug, and now you're using my iPad, and I'm going to plug back in and see if there's any chance. All right. Now I've plugged back in on TikTok with my good microphone. Let's see if it's any different. Well, sound was fine because I unplugged. Let's see if it's any different now that I've plugged back in. Thank you. Is that Joshua? And Carrie. Oh, that's cool, Carrie. That was kind of cool. What is it worse now? It's not my microphone because I broadcast to YouTube and Discord too. The sound's gone. Okay. One more time. And then we're going to use the regular microphone. So once again, that's my good microphone. Let's see. Good microphone, good microphone, good microphone. It's not my microphone. My microphone works fine on Discord and YouTube. Now it's bad again. All right. Well, you're getting an iPad tonight. Yeah. No, it's not the cord. I don't think it's the cord. It's TikTok does actually, YouTube does this too sometimes. TikTok just does this. It sometimes just doesn't cooperate with my microphone. It's very, very annoying. Yeah, I mean, the iPad mic is okay. And I can like, hello. I can move you closer. I can move you a touch closer to the iPad that way. There we go. That way I'm not too far. Bryce, this is a Macintosh. There are no drivers. This is the 21st century. One does not use drivers with a Macintosh. But in any case, my microphone, we're going to stop talking about this. My microphone is fine on YouTube and it's fine on Discord that I'm broadcasting simultaneously. The problem is TikTok. That should tell you something. That would suggest to you the problem is not my microphone. The problem is our overlords. I mean, protectors playing around again with the technology. So anyway, that's right. YouTube got the bad technology that is true. YouTube sounds did go bad last night. Remember? Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, thank you, Yari. All right, guys, let's get rolling here. So you remember last night, Donald Trump defended a murderer, the leader of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, who had a journalist critic of his who was living in the United States chopped up into little pieces, literally. U.S. intelligence concluded that he must have known. And, Trump decided to defend him last night, not only defended him and said, oh, he didn't know about it. Trump then, as only Trump can do, Trump didn't just defend the murderer. Trump said, well, that guy he killed, he didn't say the guy he killed, of course, because he's pretending he didn't. That guy, I understand he wasn't that great of a guy. He wasn't that great of a guy. Very controversial. Oh, God. I mean, no, actually, idiot. Thank you, Sarah. Jamal Khashoggi was generally considered a great guy, great journalist, big defender of freedom and democracy. Like literally, nobody says he was a controversial bad guy. Second of all, just because you're controversial means you should be chopped up into little pieces, literally, which is what the Saudis did to this guy. I would love to go through the details. I don't want to because TikTok wouldn't like it. Google the details of the Khashoggi case and what they did to this guy at the Saudi consulate in Turkey. It's horrific what they did to this guy. I mean, horrific. Being kidnapped and then chainsaw. Well, I say chainsaw, but metaphoric chainsaw. Horrific what they did to him. And Trump didn't just defend the killing, didn't defend the killer. Trump suggested that Khashoggi deserved it. Having said that, we're dealing with Donald Trump, so I'm sure that argument is familiar to him. Really sick stuff. I mean, he's sick. He's just sick. In any case, the Khashoggi's wife spoke out today, his widow, and was not pleased. God bless her for speaking out. Epstein. So the Epstein legislation has gone to Trump. As you know, both the House and the Senate now have passed legislation ordering Donald Trump to release the Epstein files. Trump has said that he will sign the legislation when it comes to his desk. Total joke. We've talked about this before, but we get different people each night. You're not a good man if you say, oh, you Congress, you're passing legislation to force me to release the Epstein files because I'm refusing to release the Epstein files. That's why you've got to pass legislation forcing me. You are not a good man, Donald Trump, if you say in response to that, oh, well, if they pass legislation forcing me to release the files, I guess I'll sign it and release the files. Here's a thought. Why don't you just release the files? This is not rocket science, right? I mean, if Congress is still having to force you, he's just everything with him is games. Now the problem becomes there's a special little provision in the legislation they passed about Epstein. I read today. They don't have to release the files if there's an ongoing investigation. What did our Brainiac do a week ago? Brainiac ordered the Attorney General to launch Epstein investigations of Democrats that he doesn't like. He literally did, and she did. He ordered her. He said, I want you to investigate Bill Clinton and a bunch of other Democrats I don't like. And she said, okay. And she picked a prosecutor to go after them. Now they're going to say we can't release the files because there's an ongoing investigation of Donald Trump's political enemies because we're a dictatorship in a third world country. So, yeah. Yeah. So, I have a very hard time believing he's going to release anything significant. We know there's something horrific. And let me rephrase that. We know there's something horrifying in those files to Donald Trump, something that horrified him. Trump, during the campaign, promised he was going to release the Epstein files. Trump then, his administration a couple months in said, oh, yeah, right. His attorney general, we got the files. I've got the files on my desk. I've got his client list on my desk, she said, Pam Bondi. I'm going to release it shortly. I'm just doing a last minute review. She does the last minute review and suddenly goes, oh, no files, not releasing any files. Actually, there are no files. She goes, no files. Everyone goes, what do you mean there are no files? You just literally said the files were on your desk last week and you were reviewing them. You specifically said the client list was on your desk, Epstein's. And now you're saying there's no files at all? 2 weeks later or so, Donald Trump goes, oh, there's files, but they're really bad. They're so bad, they must be a fake. And I will not release a fake. They must be a Democratic hoax, he said. And as we said before, if Donald Trump is freaking out and saying that the Epstein files are a Democratic hoax because there's something so bad in them, the information that's bad in there is not about Democrats. It's about Republicans. And we know Donald Trump is not exactly it's just too close, guys. Is just the most selfless individual on the planet, right? Donald Trump does stuff for Donald Trump. If Donald Trump is freaking out about the Epstein files, he's freaking out most likely because it's about him, right? Donald Trump does not freak out because some random Republican congressman might get in trouble. No, when Donald Trump freaks out, he flipped out. It's about him. So I have a very difficult time believing this administration is going to release any files about any Republican, let alone about Donald Trump and Epstein and what Trump may or may not have done. So, you know that. Pritzker. So there was an interesting article, a scary article today about Governor Pritzker of Illinois, who once again is talking about Trump trying to steal the election next year. Next year are our congressional elections. It's the midterm elections, we call them, because it's the middle of the presidential term. The presidential election isn't until 2028. 2026 are the presidential election isn't until 2028. The congressional elections are next year. Let me read you this from NBC. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker often warns that Trump may deploy military-style forces during the midterms to intimidate voters. Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat of Connecticut, has said the president is signaling to supporters that he would forgive political violence on his behalf in future elections. And California Governor Gavin Newsom has cast doubt on whether those elections will occur at all. Thank you, Blue, for the gift. For months, the Trump administration has surged immigration agents and National Guard troops in Democratic-run cities, citing emergencies tied to crime or immigration. But leading elected officials on the left have increasingly speculated something far darker is afoot, a plan to undermine future elections. Quote, they clearly are looking to do everything to discredit elections, to sow distrust and claim fraud when they lose in 2026, Pritzker said in an interview. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't think like this. I don't think like one, but it's hard to avoid the evidence here. When you put all this together, it's hard not to wonder and think seriously that there is something in this about the 2026 elections for Donald Trump. Yes, absolutely, positively at this point. There's a reason Trump has invaded Democratic cities. It's not for crime because in D.C., he's got the National Guard picking up trash. He's got the National Guard quite literally picking up trash. He had them putting down mulch for plants. I get to see them like in neighborhoods by me that like in the middle of the day, a very safe neighborhood in the middle of the day, he's got these guys walking around. You're like, why are you walking around in the middle? Oh, they're still there. I saw one the other day. Like, why are you walking around? I haven't said it yet because I feel bad for them too. I don't feel bad for ICE. The National Guard people I feel bad a little bit, but I still feel like saying, you guys really should. Next time I think I am going to say something though. Next time I'm going to say, you really shouldn't be here. You're part of something very bad. You're basically following illegal orders. And I realize, you didn't sign up for this controversial stuff. Well, maybe you should quit because this is not cool what you're doing. But literally walking through safe neighborhoods of DC in the middle of the day. And it's like, why? Why? Like, you're not helping crime by walking through safe neighborhoods. All you're doing is establishing a police state, you know? Anyway, the judge, oh my God, this was a great story today. The judge ripped apart Lindsay Halligan. So Lindsay Halligan, she's the very pretty woman. Those were her qualifications with Trump, because, you know, Trump picks people based on how pretty they are on TV. She's very pretty on TV, and has no experience whatsoever. And he picked her to be his prosecutor in Northern Virginia, U.S. attorney. Quite literally, she has no criminal law experience. She was Trump's personal lawyer for a while. She has zero criminal law experience, and he puts her as the top prosecutor in Northern Virginia. So the reason he did this was because Trump had ordered them all to to launch criminal investigations of his political enemies. And the prosecutors kept looking into it and saying, there's no crime here. So he got rid of the prosecutors that said there's no crime, which is what you do in a democracy, right? If there's no crime, you don't prosecute. And he put this chick in, Lindsay Halligan, because she's pretty and she's obedient. She's a puppet. Well, his puppet goes, and the puppet files charges against James Comey for lying to Congress, this kind of stuff. Well, here's the problem. She's in trouble with the judge now. The judge puts her up, and the judge, like, normally doesn't do this. The judge, again, she has no experience doing criminal cases. The judge says to her today, is it true that you didn't show the jury the final charges, the final indictments before they signed off on it? And she goes, yeah. She changed the final indictment. And gave it to the jury for them to sign, for the foreman to sign, without reading it. The grand jury didn't get to read the changes she made that they signed off on. So they don't know what the hell they signed off on. I mean, it's like, thank you, Sarah. It's like, I mean, not like, it's literally 12 people getting together and deciding you're guilty, or at least you're guilty enough that you should be prosecuted, but you gave them the wrong information about why they should be prosecuted, basically. So she's in real trouble now. The case is in real trouble. God bless. What else did she do? Let me see here. Oh, and her staff are now trying to pretend she's not Putin. She's not Trump's puppet, because the judge also got into the whole issue of Trump publicly ordering her to do it, and then she did it. So this is going to be very interesting. Very interesting. No, this is Lisa Halligan. This is Trump's Attorney General, U.S. attorney pick for Northern Virginia. Thank you, Kim, with the very cool, powerful mind gift. This was Trump's U.S. attorney pick for Northern Virginia, who basically he's got prosecuting a bunch of Democrats because the career officials looked at the case and said, there's no crime here. And Trump said, I don't care. I want you to prosecute Democrats. I don't like them. So he picked some woman that was his personal lawyer who's pretty. That's why he picks people who has no experience whatsoever in prosecuting criminal cases. And she effed up big time. Thank you, Sarah, for the chicken. She screwed up big time. So that was good news. Oh God, this is funny. Trump has discovered a new war he's going to solve. He is desperate for the Nobel Peace Prize. And the problem is fascists don't get the Nobel Peace Prize. People that invade their cities with troops don't get the Nobel Peace Prize. People who basically go to war repeatedly don't get the Nobel Peace Prize. He went to war against Iran. He's going to war against Venezuela. He's been blowing up innocent people in the Gulf of Mexico, not the Gulf of Mexico, further down in the Caribbean and off in the Pacific, just west of Colombia, right? He threatened to blow up Gaza. He threatened to invade and take over Panama. He threatened to invade and take over Greenland. He has threatened more wars than any president in American history in his first year in office, and thinks that he's going to get the Nobel Peace Prize. I kid you not. Clearly, that's why he's doing it. So today he said he's going to cause peace in Sudan. I'm going to read you a little bit of this from NBC. Trump said he will start working on resolving the Sudanese civil war. Mind you, it's a civil war, people. Good luck resolving a civil war, especially. following a discussion of the matter with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. According to Trump, listen, this is my favorite. According to Trump, bin Salman explained the whole culture and whole history of Sudan and that he found it very interesting. Could you imagine Trump getting a lecture about the culture and the history of Sudan? Trump can't stay awake. We've seen these pictures of him in the Oval Office. He can't stay awake during Oval Office meetings. The history, I don't know what's worse, the history of Sudan or the culture of Sudan. The history is boring enough for Trump, but the culture of a country that he surely does not care about. He says, His Majesty would like me to do something very powerful having to do with Sudan. It was not on my charts to be involved in that. I thought it was just something that was crazy and out of control. But I just see how important that is to you and to a lot of your friends in the room. And we're going to start working on Sudan. NBC adds, the Sudanese civil war has been raging between the country's army and the Rapid Support Forces, a paramilitary group, since 2023. An estimated 150,000 people have been killed. Over 11 million people have been displaced, with human rights groups considering it one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. It'd be great if he could do something. He's nuts. He doesn't know what he's doing here. He is dying for a Nobel Prize. Absolutely dying for a Nobel Prize, this guy. Senate Republicans are poo-pooing Trump's idea to give $2,000 stimulus check, not even stimulus, $2,000 tariff checks. So Trump, as you know, launched the largest tax increase in American history with his tariffs. Tariffs are taxes. They're taxes on goods that you and I buy. And Trump has put massive tariffs on goods from around the world coming into the U.S., which means American companies and or you directly, if you buy stuff directly from abroad, have to pay an average 17, 18% tax, average, on things that you buy from abroad. That means, it gets worse in some cases. Coffee from Brazil, 50% tax. Brazil is 1/3 of our coffee. Trump raised the price of coffee 50% for 1/3 of our coffee coming into this country. That's insane. It's causing lots of inflation. Big surprise. Everyone knows that. It also is raising a lot of money because Trump imposed the largest tax increase in American history on American citizens. That's not according to me. That's according to Republicans themselves who are not happy. Republicans in the past were not fans of tariffs because they're taxes. Well, Trump's taxes on you raised a lot of money. He claims, his little claim about $2,000 checks is your own tax money going back. Here's the problem. He's not going to have $2,000 a person to give until his last 6 months in office at the rate the tariffs are going. There won't be enough money to give anybody money. Second of all, it's your money. The only reason he's going to have the money after 3.5 years is because he's taking it from you now in increased taxes. How about just don't put, this is stupid. How about just don't put the taxes on us, right? But he keeps saying I'm negotiating with foreign countries by taxing Americans. That's dumb. Anyway, he's not going to have enough money. Republicans are telling him thank you, Sarah. I always call that my Joey from Friends look. The Republicans are saying they'd rather have the money to go to deficit deduction. Personally, I'd rather have the money not get taken from us to start with as taxes, but that's just me. What else we got? A man Trump pardoned for storming the Capitol on January 6th, and Trump pardoned him, was arrested in August and charged with sex crimes against 2 children, one of them 11 years old. Very bad. Trump is lying on the economy again, according to CNN. Listen to this. Trump has repeatedly alleged that Democrats are lying when this is CNN, are lying when they correctly say overall prices and grocery prices are up during his second presidency, even though it is Trump who is lying when he says overall prices and grocery prices are down. Quote, the problem with the Democrats, hold on. The problem with the Democrats, they lie. They do it so well. They talk about affordability, but I'm the one that's getting the prices down, he told reporters on Sunday, though, again, this is CNN, though overall prices were 3% higher in September than they were in September of 2024 and 1.7% higher than they were in January 2025, the month he returned to office. More than anything else, it's a con job by the Democrats. Costs are way down, Trump falsely said last week on Fox News. Yeah, prices are not way down. He claimed gasoline prices are way down from Joe Biden. Gasoline prices are actually down 1 penny from Joe Biden. We looked that one up last night. The average gas price for gasoline in America is down 1 penny per gallon from a year ago under Biden. 1 penny. He is a pathological liar. Now, why does that matter? It matters because if Trump thinks that prices are down and inflation is fixed, he's not going to fix inflation. Thank you, adventurers, because he thinks, I do love that gift. He thinks inflation's been fixed. He doesn't need to fix it. That's not good. People elected him to fix inflation. He's not fixing it. The other problem is he's making inflation worse with his tariffs. And again, if he thinks prices are actually going down, then he has no reason to worry about his tariffs causing inflation. So this is my point is Trump lies more than any president in American history. And it's not just a matter of we don't like people who are pathological liars. It has an impact when he's lying about economic policy because he's not going to fix a problem if he claims the problem's already fixed. Right? Bottom line, you elected him. I didn't, but people elected him to fix inflation. He claims it's fixed. It's not, which means he's not going to fix it at all. And prices are just going to keep getting worse. Oh, well. What else we got? Axios. Oh, so let's talk about Ukraine stuff. So Trump has a new peace proposal for Ukraine that I read, and I went, this is the same old peace proposal for Ukraine. Thank you, Claire. It's literally the same stupid peace proposal from before. Let me read you this from Axios. Any of you have been following this? It's the same peace proposal. It's terrible. The new Trump plan to end the war in Ukraine would grant Russia parts of eastern Ukraine it does not currently control in exchange for a U.S. security guarantee for Ukraine and Europe against future Russian aggression, a U.S. official said. Ukraine is not thrilled. It's a huge concession to Russia, and it sounds like the same plan, as I said. That's my take. Ukraine would give up land in the east. Russia would give up. Ukraine would give up its own land in the east to Russia. Russia would give up a little bit of land in the south of Ukraine that belongs to Ukraine. It's last time Trump tried this. Part of the problem is the land in the east that Ukraine's supposed to give up is land that the Russians are having an impossible time taking. So Putin can't get the land in eastern Ukraine, and Trump wants to just give it to him. The land in the south that Putin would give up, it's only a small amount of land, and this is Ukrainian land that he'd be giving back to Ukraine. It's land that Putin's having a hard time holding on to anyway. So Putin has to give up land, Ukrainian land, that he can't hold on to anyway. And the Ukrainians have to give up land of their own that Putin can't get unless they give it up. Thank you, Terry. So in both circumstances, you know what I mean? Like, right? You want Ukraine to give up land that the Russians can't get otherwise. And you want the Russians to give up land that the Russians are giving up anyway because they can't hold on to it. So Russia does nothing. Ukraine has to do something. It's worse. The U.S. and the world would recognize Crimea and eastern Ukraine as Russia, which is insane. A Ukrainian official also said the plan would limit the size of the Ukrainian military and its long-range weapons. Okay, this is literally the plan Trump. Maybe it's the dementia. I mean, he is a liar, but maybe it's the dementia. This is the same plan they tried. Was it a month ago, 2 months ago? Literally the same plan. Okay. Now, my favorite part is security guarantees. Ukraine does all of this in exchange for security guarantees. Why the hell should Ukraine trust a security guarantee? We already gave Ukraine security guarantees back in 1994, but the Budapest Memorandum. And the US, the UK, France, a little bit, I think, promised that we would protect Ukraine if Russia invaded again. Russia invaded in 2014. We didn't do a thing. Then they invaded again. We gave them weapons, but we demurred a lot and didn't really want to help, and we didn't give them what they needed, and blah, 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 right? I mean, like, what is the freaking, I don't get what I do a little hair sticking out here. I notice, like, what security guarantees? If I were Ukraine, I'd be like, okay, you want to give us NATO membership? I mean, Ukraine would have to decide on its own if it felt comfortable giving up land in exchange for NATO membership. But NATO membership would be a legitimate thing to get in exchange for giving up land, right? NATO, I mean, again, I'm not saying the Ukrainians should give up land. That's your choice. But getting NATO membership, that gets interesting, right? But just Donald Trump saying, "Oh, we'll help you," the Brits and the French will help you. I mean, again, Britain's done a lot. France, the U.S., yes, but why? I don't understand why the Ukrainians should trust this or give them back their nukes. Exactly. I don't understand this. It's insane. But anyway, but the worst part though is this is the deal Trump offered them before. Like, this is not a new peace proposal. It's the old bad peace proposal, but he's just, like goofy, this guy. Finally, Trump reportedly told Senate Majority Leader John Thune, the Republican leader, to move ahead on the Russian sanctions bill. This is the bill that would let Trump put secondary sanctions on countries doing trade with Russia. Reportedly, the bill would let Trump put a 500% tariff on imports from countries that purchase Russian uranium, gas, and oil. Just to be clear here, if the U.S. puts 500% tariffs on goods coming from those countries, it's a 500% tax on things you and I buy. So literally, it would mean the price of, refrigerators would go up 500% is 5 times. Okay. Oh, actually, would it be 5 times? Well, 5 times. It would go up 5 times. That's insane, right? Coffee's going to go up 5 times now. We're going to pay $50 of 10 ounces for coffee. I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But that's our boy. That's our boy. All right. Let's hang. Let's talk. Our usual. I'll adjust the camera so I can just sit back and relax. Oh boy. There will be no articles of impeachment going through. Republicans control the Congress. There's not going to be any impeachment. And in the Senate, it's even worse because in the Senate, you've got to get like a 2/3 vote or 3/5 or whatever the hell it is. But it's way more votes than, I think it's 2/3. Yeah, there's no way impeachment's ever happening, unfortunately. Honestly, Democrats would probably do better just investigating the hell out of him and everybody else surrounding him. Drag their butts for hearings, make them get lawyers, and that may be the best we can do. And then finally, pass legislation when Democrats control everything that this can never happen again. So very bad. Very, very, very bad. Anyway. So what else? Oh, I'm going to yawn at you. Sorry. Me and my yawning. I am very good at math, but the problem is that what confuses me is with investments 500%, for example, because an investment going up 500% means you've got 6 times your investment, right? That's what confuses me then when I talk about coffee, because I know with investments, right, 100% means you've got twice as much money. 200% means you've got 3 times as much money. So it's confusing. That's why whenever I do 500%, I go, wait a minute, is that 5 times or 6 times? It means if it were an investment, you'd have 6 times the money. But with tariffs, it's 5 times. So John's math is actually quite good. Thank you. Nice try, though. Anyway. I know we do need to get back control. Democrats need to get back in Congress and just rake these people over the coals. Yeah, that's cute, Rod. How are you going to buy American? Rod says buy American. You don't have to worry about tariffs. Well, 1/3 of our coffee comes from Brazil, so that doesn't really help. 99% of our clothes come from abroad. Are you not going to buy clothes next time? Okay. Every single car in America, 50% of the parts come from abroad. Are you not going to buy cars anymore for your family? Okay. Let's see. What else have we got? Food. You can cut back on a lot of food. Tomatoes, avocados, lots of different food. So yeah, it doesn't work that way. If you've ever actually shopped and looked at labels, good luck buying them. And by the way, the other fun fact, you won't be buying telephones anymore. No more iPhones, no more Google phones. Sorry. So your family's not going to have a phone anymore. The other problem is that if you can find American stuff, it's a lot more expensive. You really willing to pay $500 more for a crappy television made in America? Okay. You go, girl. But I don't think so. I don't think so. So yeah, you can't buy America when stuff, prescription drugs, not going to buy that Ozempic. Okay. Okay. It's made in Denmark, so yeah, you can't buy American. We don't, we're too much of an international economy now. And again, it doesn't exist. Clothing just doesn't exist. Good luck buying American clothes. Literally, I think the number was like 99%, something crazy of the amount of clothes that come from abroad. When is this nonsense going to stop? January 20th, 2029, or maybe earlier. Anyway, but yeah, the iPhone especially, that's a good one I wasn't thinking of, right? No more computers, no more phones. Okay, you go. So anyway, I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, my always yawning, and then my little muscle pill made it even more. So, what else? Oh, sorry. Doug said, "Do I have faith in the U.S. or democracy?" No, not anymore. Clearly, we're not capable of handling a crisis. Our democracy has failed, and and we've proven we're not trustworthy, as I've said. Depending on what you mean by faith in the U.S., but our system isn't working. Clearly, we're on the verge of a dictatorship, and nothing's stopping him. And at the same time, we've proven that we're one election away from electing a crazy person. So you can't trust the U.S. anymore. We're not a good ally. We're not a good trade partner. We're not a good military ally or military. We are one crazy person away from screwing you. If you're any country around the world, why should you ever trust us? And Trump has also made clear that he's willing to break any bargain, any deal. So any negotiation you do with Trump means nothing. He'll violate any trade deal, anything. So very bad. Very bad. Yeah, mods obviously block the. Yeah, there's some fucked up spam person on TikTok. Obviously, you don't want to contact that person, or they're going to cheat you out of a lot of money. So, I assume you guys, and report that one as well. Obviously, mods, make sure that person gets reported to TikTok. Anyway, I always wonder whether somebody's dumb enough to believe that. You never know though. Somebody might be. But anyway, oh boy. What else? What else? Formula One in Las Vegas. I don't really follow such things. Yeah, they do that, Ash. I know they do that all the time. I literally report scammers to TikTok, and they're like, no violation. They don't. They've got AI checking. And the AI has no idea. It's very sad, actually, because even obvious scams, they can't pick up on it. And all right, if you want your system overrun with scammers, but I would think that would be a bad thing. So what do you do? Housing market? I don't know. The thing is, Trump, I don't know if you're seeing a housing crash. You might see the opposite. Because Trump wants to lower interest rates, which will make housing more affordable, but it's also going to cause inflation to go through the roof. So, General Mills, Gunther, what do you mean? Yeah, I know. A little early, WC. Sorry, tired today. And that little sleeping pill isn't helping, even though it lingers far too long. But what do you do? I took some. I had some iced tea before the show. It didn't help. What else? What else? Yes. What else? Yeah. Anything, folks? Again, talk about any topics you want. Did you hear Kellogg was stepping down? Oh, who? You mean his Trump's little Ukraine envoy, or who? That's interesting because he was like one of the only good guys there. So that's not good. That's not good. You know me, I'm always yawning. I'm going to move this closer. Since I'm leaning back, I can move you guys a little closer. There we go. There we go. Russian Doomsday Radio. What is that? The numbers, those numbers things. Oh yeah, I can't handle coffee at this hour though. I wouldn't. I mean, I could have made coffee, but like coffee like upsets. You know what I mean? Like too much coffee also just kind of upsets my stomach and stuff. I wouldn't want to do that. So that would be gross. We did talk about Comey earlier. I laughed heartily because the judge was pissed. I think Comey's going to get off. Hopefully, the judge was Trump will be pissed too. It's like ha 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 ha. Oh, I did make some blondies, but I cut back the sugar and I realized, which I'd read before, the sugar in blondies does make them moister. It's cakier without the sugar. And it's okay, but I'm not loving it with less sugar, you know? Yeah. Dawn, the problem is I find coffee, like if I have too much, I get, stomach and intestines get kind of, for me, at least if I have too much. Tom Hanks and his coffee. What's that about? Sourdough. I used to make sourdough bread. I don't know about a favorite. I mean, I sort of just went for a straight up, sourdough bread. I mean, the recipes aren't that different, but I like sourdough. I stopped because I was making it like forever, and then I just made it for several years and got tired of it. So I actually have to make some Greek bread. I was going to make some more of my Greek bread. That's kind of like challah or whatever. It's eggs, kind of brioche. It's like a sweet brioche, very good. But I keep forgetting I've got to make that because I kind of have to start it in the morning in order to get it done by the afternoon. It's very good. It's called tsureki. Very good and very nice. I like to have it for breakfast or a snack, but for breakfast, it's really nice. I need some more breakfast bread anyway. So actually I got to remind myself tomorrow. Hold on. Let me, 1 second. Where's my, remind me at 11 a.m. to go shopping for Thanksgiving. There we go. I need to start buying food. We're going to a friend's house, but I'm bringing a lot of food. So I've got to start getting the food to start cooking maybe early next week. I am not a mellow macarona fan. What's funny? In my house, we did not make Christmas. We never made Greek cookies for Christmas. There are Greek cookies like mellow macarona. I'm forgetting the other ones that are Christmas cookies. There's like 2 or 3. I don't know if it's curambieres and something else, I think. But we never really made those for Christmas. My Greek bread recipe is already, I think, over on Discord. I think it's in our Discord already. I sort of perfected it. Like it's mom's recipe, but it was one of these, keep adding flour, and I finally weighed everything. So now it's like exact. It's very good. But yeah, I don't make Greek cookies. We never made for Christmas. We would make of course, the vasilopita, of course. Although for us, we made tsureki vasilopita the same. Some people don't. Some people do. But I like my paximavia. I was telling you, Fallen, other people that they're cookies you make for dead people, but they're really good. So I make them anyway. Actually, do Greeks ever eat them like if it's not a funeral, Fallen? I'm just curious. Because they're really good. They're wonderful. Yeah, Ash had them. They're wonderful. They're like really good biscotti because they are cooked twice. But I just made some like a month ago because I like them. But you typically make them for funerals and stuff. Yeah, Fallen says no. They're probably the best Greek cookie that exists. One of the best Greek desserts that exist. And they're for dead people. Like I said, like they're for funerals. When you go to a restaurant after the funeral, you bring the cookies. And people don't make them because they are for dead people, but they're so good that I make them. So I don't care. Viplas are another one that Fallen mentioned that are really good. It's like a thin fried dough. It's not the same as anything. They're not even close to churros or anything like that. Nothing like that. But it's a deep fried dough that's a long sheet that you roll up and cinnamon and honey. And oh my God, I love Viplas. We had an old aunt who used to make them. Oh my God. But again, they're kind of not, I don't know if they're hard. Supposedly you use 2 forks and kind of, anyway. I don't think I'm ever going to try. I may make them for fun once just to try, but I'm not so sure. So fruitcake. I am not from a fruitcake family, so don't know about that. Gingerbread. I don't know if I've ever made gingerbread. I've got a decent speculoos recipe, which is kind of gingerbread cookie-ish. Speculoos. But Coliva, I don't remember what that is. I remember the name. Superstitious. What I don't know. I'd have to Google and see what Coliva is. Let's ask boyfriend. Hey, boyfriend, what is the Greek food Coliva?
Koliva is a traditional dish in Greek Orthodox culture that's typically made from boiled wheat berries, mixed with things like sugar, nuts, pomegranate seeds, raisins, and sometimes spices like cinnamon. It's usually decorated beautifully on top and is most commonly prepared for memorial services or commemorations of the dead in the Orthodox tradition.
Dead people. Dead people. This is even deader people stuff than my cookies. It's actually not bad. I don't love it, but it's tasty. It grosses me out, but it's actually tasty. But it's the ultimate dead people food. Like you might as well eat a pomegranate and go to Hades if you're going to eat this stuff. And it's a total pain in the ass to make. I mean, my mom would make it, and like you spread it out on the table to dry for several hours. I mean, it's crazy shit. But mom would make it. Coliva. I forgot what Coliva was. I knew that. I knew what that was, but mom would make it. Fruitcake. We're Greek. We don't make fruitcake, thank God. Actually, I think the Cypriots do. The Cypriots have something they call a Christmas cake that I think is a fruitcake. They get it from the Brits, I think. Hold on. Boyfriend, what is the Cypriot Christmas cake? Is it a fruitcake or what?
Absolutely. The Cypriot Christmas cake is indeed a kind of fruitcake. It's quite similar to the British-style Christmas fruitcake, packed with dried fruits like raisins, currants, candied citrus peels, and often some nuts. It's typically spiced with warm spices like cinnamon and cloves, and sometimes it's even gently soaked with a bit of brandy or another spirit for extra flavor. So yes, it's very much a festive fruitcake with a Cypriot twist.
But it's actually a British twist, right? I mean, it's just fruitcake, isn't it, basically?
Yeah, you're pretty much spot on. Is basically a traditional fruitcake at heart, just like the British version.
Is the British version any good?
Well, that's a bit of a love it or hate it situation. Some folks absolutely adore British fruitcake. It's rich, it's dense, it's full of boozy fruit, and for them, it's a nostalgic Christmas treat. For others, though, it can be a bit of a punchline. People joke about it being a brick that gets passed around every year. So whether it's any good really depends on your taste buds.
Is it any different than American fruitcake? Because we joke about that a lot.
Oh, absolutely. It's pretty much the same kind of running joke on both sides.
No, but is it pretty much the same dessert, the American fruitcake?
Yeah, they're pretty similar desserts at the core. Both the American and British fruitcakes are dense, packed with dried fruits and nuts, and often a bit boozy, or at least well-spiced. The exact fruits or spices might vary a little, and maybe Americans have a few more colorful candy cherries thrown in, but fundamentally, it's the same kind of fruit-filled.
Ugh. I mean, I'm going to guess that if somebody could come up with a good fruitcake recipe, it might be okay. Like if you use decent fruit, if you soak it well, I mean, this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But Visionary says in Betve, where's Betve? We have a sweetbread called Creole bread. Where is that? I don't know what Betve is. Or Betwe. Creole bread. That's funny. It's called Creole bread too. I mean, I could see a good recipe being good for fruitcake. I've just never had one, you know? What do you mean, WC? Oh, Belize. Okay. Okay. In Belize, there's a sweetbread called Creole bread. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, ours is the Greek one it's sweet. It's on the sweeter side. It's very eggy. It typically has mastic, which is a resin from a tree, but you can really use vanilla, surprisingly. I told you, my aunt Thea Rose was the cook. I mean, mom was a good cook too, but Thea Rose was like the chef in the family kind of thing, Aunt Rose. And I once she goes, you could try. And I tried it with vanilla and it was excellent. And she even tried, she did. I brought her a piece. She goes, it's really good. She goes, you're right. The vanilla gives you a sense of the mastica, believe it or not. It's very funny. Not to get too particular with foods you guys don't know. But yeah, the fruitcake thing, I would be interested in trying a good fruitcake. I've never had a good one. And in my family, we just never ate them. I mean, it was like, we just never, it's not a, it wasn't a Greek American tradition for Christmas or an Aravosis tradition for Christmas. You know, we just didn't do it. But I'm sure there's a good one out there probably. And like boozy stuff too, you know, like a rum cake I do like. Oh, have I? I don't think I have too much WC. I just happened to, it was useful for this, I thought. You know, yeah, and also fruit soaked in brandy. I mean, brandy's not my thing. So bread pudding with a brandy sauce, that's quite good. The silver palette bread pudding. Now that's something different. And also, yeah, I don't like the candied fruit anyway. Always found that gross. You know, Lidl probably will, or however you pronounce it, would probably have it, I would think. Right? I would think. Thank you for the gift there, Annette. Was that Annette? Yes. Keep the gifts coming, guys. We like our gifts. We like our subscriptions even more, but gifts are good too. So thank you. German chocolates filled with brandy. I'm just not a brandy guy, you know. You made a pound cake and add pecans. That sounds fine. And maraschino cherries, as long as they're, well, that might not be too bad. That might not be too bad. I'm not sure what that question meant, Terry. I saw, but I don't understand what you're asking. What else? But yeah, so I made my blondies today. They're a little cakey, but they're still good. They're blondies. I've got ice cream. I can always slather some ice cream on them. Oh, that's good. Ryazan oil refinery, one of the largest in the nation, has been completely shut down by Ukrainian drone per Reuters. All refining activity has been suspended. It is not expected to resume until next month. Good. Very good. That's good to hear. Very good to hear. Go Ukraine. That's what I think. Store-bought. Yeah, store-bought anything is questionable. No, I'm sure. I mean, like I said, the Cypriots make it. I'm going to guess, like my friend Rodula is an excellent. I got to ask Rodula. She would know. She's Cypriot, Greek Cypriot, and she makes. I'm sure she has a good recipe for Christmas bread because she was always a good cook. I haven't talked to her in a couple of years anyway. I should reach out to her, be like, "Hello, what's going on? I want good recipes." You know. Oh, why do the Ukrainians go after Putin's big palace? Good question. I mean, well, okay. Part of the problem is if you go after his palace, then he's going to go after Zelensky's home, right? And I don't know whether the Russians are, initially they tried to take out Zelensky. I don't know whether the Russians now are still being careful about not going after Zelensky personally. At the beginning, they did try. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I think that may be the concern. Also, going after his palaces is fine from a shock value, but it doesn't help the war effort. If you're Ukraine, you've only got so many drones, and also the war is kind of I mean, it's going, kind of in between, kind of a stalemate. You want to use every drone possible to go after the oil industry, for example. I don't know that I'd want to waste any drones or missiles going after Putin's palace. Again, it's symbolically, I'm with you. It'd be kind of fun to blow up Putin's palace, but if you only have so many weapons, you have a limited quantity of weapons, you want to use it for stuff that's going to make it harder for the Russians to send missiles back at you. Yeah, but there also is that element. I wonder about whether part of it is that if they go after Putin's palace, Putin tries to blow up Zelensky wherever he is. I mean, there's a little bit of that too. Not that Putin wouldn't anyway. Maybe Putin would anyway. But yeah, refinery, like they're doing, hitting oil refineries, much smarter move for them right now. Because at least it helps them with it. But I know what you mean. It would feel good though to go after some of his personal stuff. Would feel good. I agree with that. Or the bridge, save some stuff and take down his favorite bridge in the South, right? That would be better too. Money better spent. But anyway, yeah, no. I'd be curious, like I said, of a good, like the American baking show. I'm forgetting the one on the Food Network or whatever. One year they gave them like that bad fruitcake as the basis of the recipe they had to make. And it was that, that small one that's like this, the one that's kind of this shaped, that's hard as a rock. We've had Americans give us some of that stuff at Christmas occasionally. Mom would always be like, like, what do we do with this? She's like, I don't know. And I think we tried it. No, not Chopped. This is the competition show of all the. It's less assholic than Chopped. It's the competition show of all the different stations with Valerie Bertinelli. But yeah, I mean, I just remember a couple times getting it and we were like, oh God, the fruitcake, those little hard fruitcakes. And I think I did try it once. It was just sweet, it was just not good. But again, if you can make one, it's going to be 1,000 times better, I'm sure. Your family cat loved bread pudding. The silver palette bread pudding recipe is still my go-to recipe. And if you don't make the sauce, it's okay. If you make the sauce, so much better. And the sauce does need a little brandy or something in it. It really does. It really does. So anyway. What's that? What else? What else? Oh, what, the food show is getting canceled or which? Formed? I liked that show. It was a good show. And I liked them because they weren't nasty. And I really don't like the shows to be nasty. But it was interesting. It was a good, I enjoyed the competitions. I haven't watched it in a while. But, it's the last year. Too bad. Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while. But it is, which maybe shows you something right there that I haven't watched it in a while. But it's I always enjoyed it. The family cat loved bread pudding. That really is funny. Well, I'm sure my dog would love bread pudding. Are you kidding? She'd have no objection to that. That's for sure. It's sweet. Anything sweet with her? Honestly, anything that is even vaguely could be food, a tissue, anything she could get her mouth on would. I mean, it doesn't really matter, But, what else? I've been spending my time going through preparing my interview for my Greek citizenship, which my interview is coming up in a month. But it's just the beginning of the process. Then if they approve of my documents, then the documents have to go to Athens, and then some mean person at the Ministry of the Interior goes through it. But I've been trying to guess at problems in advance, like my mom's name is Mary in English and Maria in Greek, and sometimes they go, it's not the same name. Which my response to that is, really? What's the name of Jesus's mother in English and in foreign languages? So don't tell me Mary is not the same as Maria. But they apparently can get very anal about it. So I've been getting I've literally been going through all my records and refining my arguments into fact sheets and everything. So it's been quite the process. So anyway, but it's been not fun. It's fun in a way because it's very legalistic work where you're trying to there's a couple different you've got 3 different name spellings and you're trying to prove these 3 people are the same people by going to different records. And it's not fun. I hope it's going to work, but we'll see. We will see. Not fun though. Oh, are you kidding? I've already got a stack like that. I'm going to be like a lawyer walking in. I'm bringing what do you call it? Props. I've got our family photo album I did of the history of the family that goes back to 19 teens in Greece. I've got a lot of different props I'm bringing in. My book for my famous uncle that he signed to me. I've got another book a Greek cousin just bought me that's about my other famous uncle, the general. Somebody wrote a book about him and his sons from the revolution. So I'm getting that book on Monday, which will be great. So all these books are coming with me. And I'm going to be like, I live and breathe this stuff. So I can prove this is my life, the family tree, everything. Yeah. So, but no, I did. I actually I even found, I was very excited. I found some old photos from my friend Rodula, from my friend Rodula, the Cypriot friend. But I found some old photos and I was very excited. They're probably, I don't even know where the hell I put them now. Who knows where I put them? But they're like some fun old photos of me like Greek dancing and the little red, because with the Greeks for Easter, I mean, I'm American. I like my eggs multicolored, but the Greeks like the eggs red. Mom would always be like, red. I'm like, red again. So you do red eggs, and then Easter meal, you take the eggs and you crack them against each other. And whoever's egg doesn't crack, I'm guessing, has good luck or something for the year. But it's this big competition. Fallen will know, Surigsma or something. I can never remember what exactly it's called. But I found a picture of me in college with my Cypriot friends Easter evening after the midnight service, cracking our eggs. And I was so excited. I was like, yay. So I'm going to use that. So, well, I mean, anyway, Sugrisma. I was going to say Sugrisma. You do it at Passover too? Oh, that's funny. Do you guys crack eggs? Really? Seriously? Yeah, Ellis Island or the Ellis Island area. We think Mom was after Ellis Island was no longer used to process immigrants, but we think Mom may have been there because they kept them for a couple of days in quarantine, and that might have been Ellis Island. But she came next to Ellis Island. Yep. So, in any case, but yeah. So I mean, but I want to overwhelm him with my Greek culture stuff. Absolutely, positively overwhelm him. But as I said, I'm still worried about them nitpicking stuff, because they can, Why is her name Mary? Why isn't it Maria? So someone's getting it. You're getting a whole like show here. Sasha's stretching out. Hello. She's doing a whole stretch thing for the audience on YouTube and Discord. What you doing, Tiger Lily? Nope. Okay, now she's walking away. That was funny. She was doing that little like doggy stretch thing. What else? What else? Good documentary on PBS about the Revolutionary War. Oh, that'd be interesting. I wouldn't mind kind of learning about that history again. It's been so long. Like that's, goes back to college basically, or high school. You know what I mean? Probably high school. It's the last time I studied the Revolutionary War. Hip flexor stretch. Well, that where they get on the ground and kind of the butt goes in the air, but they go down. And it's kind of that cute little stretch they do. Oh, is it Ken Burns? I wasn't sure. This isn't the new one, is it? Ken Burns has a new one coming out for the first time in like 8 years or something. But I don't remember which. Is it the Revolutionary War? I don't remember which one it is. Is it the Revolutionary War one, Luis? Or Civil War? I thought it was Civil War, not Revolutionary. I'm with Tom. I thought it was Civil War. Somebody Google and make sure. But yes, Cliff, the names, in my mom's case and her relatives too, they instead of calling her Maria here in America, they called her Mary. And my aunt, they did the same thing. And the Greek authorities don't love that. But I'm not convinced they're very different, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned. But, so it is about the revolution. Okay. So the new Ken Burns is about the American Revolution. Interesting. All right. Very interesting. Oh, that's good to know. Okay. Fun. Yeah. His stuff is so good. I'll have to check it out. Very nice. Exactly. Red symbolizes blood, but it also symbolizes life. Street Rat. We're talking about the red eggs. It's also life. And the rebirth or the resurrection and that kind of, when I say life, I mean that kind of stuff. So yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I will check it out. Oh, it's on PBS. That's right. Interesting. Oh, what else? Anything else, guys? Whose hair? Me? WC or whose hair? Or somebody else's? Oh, okay. Thanks. I'll take it. Thanks. I see the Greek man. When do I see the Greek man? I see the Greek man on December 19th. So I've got a month. So interviewing. Actually, I found some people to do the translations. Not bad. Like 15 euros a page, which is pretty damn good compared to what other people are paying. So that's good. They did say the consulate told me to ask the translator what I do about mom's name. I was like, all right. And I asked the translators, told her about mom's Greek documents, and they said we believe it should be translated as Maria from Mary. So I was like, okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Which I'm glad, because it drives me nuts, the idea of giving mom Mary. Her name in Greek is not Mary, it's Maria. But nonetheless, this is esoteric stuff. I haven't decided what to. I still haven't told my friends about my birthday being Thanksgiving. I haven't decided. Because the only thing is, I was thinking of making that, which it is very good, the pumpkin dessert. The only thing is, then I was thinking, if they're going to have pumpkin pie, I'm bringing another pumpkin dessert. It seems a bit repetitive, So I'm not sure about that. I just think it's a bit repetitive. So I still haven't quite figured out what to do about dessert. So we'll see. Am I moving to Greece? Maybe someday. I mean, too much pumpkin isn't bad, but I just feel like they could have. My guess is they're probably going to have, it's 8 or 10 people. They're probably going to have 2 pumpkin pies already, I'm guessing. So a third pumpkin dessert might be a bit much, Peanut butter pie, I've never done that before. I'm more of a chocolate guy, I mean, I could always bring my extra pie home, of course. There's no problem with that. But, all right, see you, magic. So, we'll see. But no, I've got to decide shortly. I mean, I know what I'm making otherwise, but I am going to bring like a birthday kind of cake. It could be, I don't know. It could be a chocolate cake. I haven't decided what. I just want something simple. Usually we do. Usually it is pumpkin pie. I mean, that's my birthday cake is often a pumpkin pie because my birthday's Thanksgiving. So that's why I'm still thinking like that the pumpkin cheesecake was quite good. And I could always make a graham cracker crust for it, which is a possibility. I think that might not be a bad idea. It doesn't come with a crust, which makes it easy, but the graham cracker crust is so good that I'm kind of thinking maybe doing that anyway. It's pretty rich though, so I probably would leave it in a square pan. It's a bit messy too, this dessert. We'll see. Like I said, I've not decided what to do. So Hershey's chocolate cake. What is that? I don't know what that is. Oh, you mean the one off the Hershey's cocoa. I've heard about that. It's supposed to be very good. The Hershey's cocoa cake, you mean? Yeah, I just the other day I heard people saying it's really good. Interesting. But I have to make some kind of top, although the frosting isn't really hard. I could do that. Yeah, but I mean, I just don't know that my concern with making the pumpkin cheesecake is if they've already got cheesecake, I feel like I'm one-upping the cheesecake. If they've already got pumpkin pie, I feel like I'm one-upping the pumpkin pie a little. I don't know. But I could see making the Hershey's chocolate cake for fun and just make like a ganache or something to pour over it. I mean, frostings are pretty easy. That's a possibility. Yeah, maybe I'll ask her. I mean, I still feel weird telling him it's my birthday. There's a part of me that's like, it's my birthday. Like it's a little, but as you guys said, like if you found, and they will find out later because of Facebook probably, if you found out later, you'd be annoyed like it was your birthday and we didn't do anything. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. Chocolate cake with mousse filling and chocolate ganache. Well, let's not go crazy. I mean, normally, but I'm already making stuffing and some wonderful cornmeal biscuits that are really good. Amazing cornmeal muffins. So good. Yeah, a lot of my recipes are on Discord already anyway, in the recipe section on Discord. But I don't know. Let's see. I'll look at the chocolate cake one because I am kind of curious, and I never object to chocolate cake. I just haven't made it before, so I'm a little nervous as to how good it is. Actually, I have a very good chocolate cake recipe. That's like a scratch chocolate cake that's very simple and very good. I could always make that too, potentially, and just make some frosting. And it's, again, simple chocolate cake, like a sheet cake, like 8x8 or 9x9, and be done with it. It's easy. It's good. Figure out a ganache or something to put on top. I know there are a lot of options, but I just thought the pumpkin one I liked because it's a recipe from like 1570. And I think that's kind of fun, even though cut back the sugar a little, cut back the cinnamon was out of control. I used half the cinnamon and it was still like, so I'd cut back a little bit. And remember, guys, don't respond to the scammers on TikTok. So yeah, but I like the idea of bringing something that's like a dessert from 1570. I think that's kind of fun, Just Google 1570 pumpkin cheesecake. It'll come up. Tasting History is the name. Max Miller's website, Tasting History. The one thing you need to be careful of is that recipe that he gives is he claims it's for a pie dish. I made half the recipe and it filled an 8x8 pan for half the recipe. Half the recipe makes a pie. I don't know why he gave the full recipe. Half the recipe makes a pie. But I could still make it because I like that it's a different kind of thing to make, that it's a recipe from the 1500s and it's very good. It is very good. So we'll see. I like to bake. I bake a lot. I don't know about a lot because otherwise I'd get fat, but I do bake. I bake a lot, but not a lot. Yeah. Baking's my favorite. I say this with fresh blondies sitting on the countertop from an hour ago. I do like to bake. And I'm talking about making my Greek bread tomorrow. So yes, I do like to bake. Actually, that's what I keep thinking. I keep trying to decide if I should bring any Greek food for my interview with the Greek embassy, with the consulate. I haven't decided yet. My cousin was talking to me. She goes, I want to bring my pasticcio. I make the best pasticcio. And she goes, would that be too weird? I said, no, do it. Why not? I'd do it. So, but we'll see. I don't know whether it would be weird bringing in food. I can see my mother going, why not? Mom would be, what's weird? Well, the problem is the cookies. My favorite cookies are the Paximavia. I can't bring those in because that would be weird. That would be weird. See, Fallen says it'll be weird. Well, see, that's what I mean. From an American perspective, it would be different, but I've brought cookies to my doctor before. My doctor once squeezed me in for an appointment. I brought chocolate chip cookies. I was like, I said, that was very sweet of you. I brought you some cookies. He was like, really? I said, yeah. But Fall is like, that's different. I might not, being a guy, I might not do it. Also the Greek thing, because the Greek angle's weird, but I have no problem bringing in food or something and say, this is my family. This is what we do. We're the kind of Greeks that make food and give it. No, I probably won't do it, but I could. So anyway. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. We're 7:19. So thank you for joining today, as always. I know my recipe book. I've got many Greek recipe books. That's true. I didn't think of that. I could bring my Greek recipe book too. I probably will, because actually my Greek recipe book is from 1970 something. I've literally had this book for 50 years. I forgot about that. My book is from the 1970s. Maybe I will bring my Greek recipe. That's a great idea. You're right. This is my Greek recipe book I've had for 50 years. No, I'm like, I want to overwhelm this guy with my Greekness, which I suspect, my aunt did a family recipe book. We still want to do. Mom's recipes are on my phone. They're in my Apple Notes and in Dropbox. And my nephew already has access to them, just in case. But I don't know. It'd be nice to do a book or something. At some point we're going to. Yes. But we're not there yet. Just because it would be a lot of work but we need to do it, because it would just obviously have my mom's. I mean, I've got my mom's recipes, but just to like have them would be nice. So far, everyone calls me and I'm like, all right, I got it. Like mom stuffing, got it. So, that is funny, Tom. I just saw the same thing. Yeah, 666. We're at 66,600 likes on the show today on TikTok. 666. Anyway. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. Have a good night, everybody. Wow. Have a good night, all. And I'll see you all tomorrow again. And hopefully if I take another back pill, I won't be even more out of it, but I might. You never know. Ooh, dog wants more water. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. All right. Have a good night, guys. We're going to start with Discord, and then YouTube, and then TikTok. All right. Good night, Discord. All right. YouTube. Have a good evening. Yep. Where's the end? There's the end. And TikTok. All right. TikTok.